Welcome back to another episode of Hoonah's Shed. This is still carrying on with the electrics for the TZR. I've got the battery, so hopefully we can get the ignition, the indicator lights that I did last time, we can hopefully get those up and running and make sure that I've done that correctly. I said that was just because the indicator seemed a fairly simple circuit, and I wanted to put together a circuit that I'd read from the wiring diagram to just see if I'm getting a grasp of how to read a wiring diagram, which is a bit up and down. There is some work going on next door at the moment, so I don't know how much that's going to interfere with the sound of this, but we'll give it a go. So I'll get the other wire turned up as well. So I think I've got all the wire, got a battery, got everything else. So now it's just a case of trying to work my way through the wiring diagram with the fuse box and all the relays. So let's crack on and see what we can get done today. Right, so here is our new battery, still on charge at the moment. Going very well. Now, just as a refresher, TZR, I have got the garage door shut, so it might be a little bit dark. I've still left the temporary wiring in. And so this is just temporary. It's all hooked up to how I have interpreted the wiring diagram for the indicators. So when I put the battery on this, I'm hoping that everything works. And if it doesn't, then I shall have to see if I can find out why. Right, so that's the battery hooked up. Fuse is in. Moment of truth. It's all flashing. We have flashing. We have flashing in there as well, so that's good. Hey! And hello, hello, hello. No, that hasn't worked, has it? I've got them both going. I must have a crossover somewhere. But they are pretty bright. The back, same on the back. Yep. But they are pretty bright. I've got to say I like them. You can see the. No. Switch the light out and see what they look like from the sides. Yeah. Okay. So obviously I've cocked up somewhere because this bike doesn't have hazards, but they are flashing. They are flashing. Let's see what happens if we do it right. Yeah, still the same. Still the same. Okay. Well, that gives me something to scratch me chin over. Going to see if we can sort that out. Right. Right, so I think I've got it. The problem was with the light on the dash, this one here that lights up to let you know that your indicator's gone. Now that's a bulb and these are LEDs. Now I know when you fit LED indicators you've got to fit resistors, but I've got the resistor in there, so I'm thinking that bulb, because it takes a feed from left and a feed from right, so when it's, what I'm thinking is that when it's connected with bulbs, there's enough resistance to not light up the other side, if you see what I mean. But because you're putting a bulb in with LEDs, I think it works differently, so that's why all four were coming on. So what I've done now is I've wired it up, but without that, so it's on the switch, and what happens is, turn this round, ta-da, and the one at the back as well, and the one at the front. And then when you flick the switch over to the other side, that one flashes, and so does the one at the back. So that appears to be that problem solved. What I need to do now is so what I'm probably going to have to do, I think, is if I get a new dashboard or something like that goes in here, and I don't know how I'm going to do that yet, I can't use bulbs, I've got to use LEDs, so I might fabricate some sort of plate to hold the clocks and everything else on. Then I can have an LED one for left and an LED one for right, rather than just the one. So yeah, I think that's got it. And obviously I've taken a feed straight from the battery, but obviously this feed wouldn't come straight from the battery, otherwise it would work when the bike switched off. So one feed from the battery, which will be 20 amps out up to the on-off switches, and then a switchable feed from the ignition will come back into here, and then go out from there. So that's the plan. But yes, it works. I have working indicators. Woohoo! Right, now it's looking a bit more messy. I do understand what's going on in there, don't panic. But what I've done basically is I've a couple of feeds in from the battery, one for the what would normally be the loom for the switches, and then a feed which goes to the relays, which I've since wired in. So, headlight, so that would be the park, which has nothing to do with this system. So then onto on, here it's a bit bright, here the relay click, and then that's on high beam, no that's on low beam, now it's on high beam, low beam, high beam, low beams, high beams. But hey, yeah, I'm quite chuffed with that. Thank you, Jamie, it did all make sense like I said. So turn it off, heard the relays click in, good on you. So there we go, job done. Well, not job done because I've got to tidy all that up. But this is, like I said, this is just temporary. I just wanted to figure out how all this goes together. So there you go. So a quick demo on how this relay works. So I've got the feeds coming in from the battery. So this feed represents the power from the loom that goes up into this switch here. Okay, and then from this switch here, it goes over to the high or low beam here, and then out down to the relays. So with a relay, let me just grab one from up here so I can show you. This is a relay. Okay, chain 12 volt changeover relay, and that's the pin configuration. They're all labelled. I don't know how well they're going to come out, but 30. Can't see it through it. 85, 87. Sorry, that's 30. 87A, 86A. They're all the same. Yeah, there you go. There you see the numbers. So 30, which is this one here, is the live feed from the battery, straight from the battery for this relay. Okay, the green coming in is from the switch. The red is the feed out on 87, so 87A in there is off, that's on, and that goes up to the headlight, and then obviously that is the earth. So battery feed, switch feed, feed to headlight, earth. So the power comes in through there, and then when this trips, it then pushes the power through there and out there, out that one, the red one, straight up to the wire. And then when you flick from high to low beam, it flicks over to this changeover relay, which is set up to the same way, but deals with the high beam. So that's changeover relays. So whenever you flick this switch, it goes from one relay to the other, obviously when you've got it switched on. So there you are, Relays 101, as it was explained to me, and it does work. And if I can do it, you can do it. There we go. So really, what I need to do now, because I said I didn't cut any of these cables, I just left them as entire lengths because I didn't want to cut them up for the mock-up and then find out I'd left myself 10 centimetres or 2 centimetres short when I came to put it in for real. So yeah, it does look a bit complicated, but it is just reels of cable, it's just lengths of cable. So there we go. So there we are. I could have set up the stands to put the phone in to video myself doing some of the cable connections, but it really was just strip, crimp, strip, crimp. Very boring, and then it's just, there wouldn't have been much banter going on. So I did actually find it quite therapeutic doing the cabling, doing the wiring, even when there was problems, but I'm quite chuffed with that. I didn't actually realise that the tail light isn't actually connected to the headlight at all, in any way. It's not part of the same circuit, it's on a completely different circuit for the parking lights. So found that out today. What was the other thing? Oh yeah, the light bulb across the two LEDs. If I put the original bulb indicators back on, that would have worked. But it's because I had the LEDs, and the bulb on the idiot bulb, I think they call it, has a positive feed from left and right. There's no negative, it's in from that side. But because of the way of the resistance, I think it is, when it comes that way and makes this flash, there's not enough power to trip this side to make that flash. It's only just enough to make that, and that's it. You can get around it by putting a diode or something on either side of one way. So it's free flow one way but resistance that way. And then put one on each side and then you can use the bulb. But I couldn't be bothered to set that up today. I know how it works, so if I want to put idiot bulbs on, which I probably do actually, to be fair, because I am an idiot, then I shall just put a couple of LEDs on the dash. Whether I use the original and butcher that or make something different, I don't know. But yeah, today I wanted to make sure I got the indicators sorted, and then I was going to have a crack at the headlight relays, which are working. So I'm quite chuffed with that. So thanks, Jay. It does all make sense. Whatever anybody else says, mate, when I talk to you, it fucking makes a lot of sense. So yeah, wiring's coming along well. So all I've got to do now is figure out how I'm going to route that through the bike for when it's finished, and how I'm going to enclose it. Now I have got links down. Some of this stuff, but it's not sealed, you see, it's just this wrappy around cable tidy stuff. And I had originally thought of running that through the bike, but it's not sealed, so I don't know. I've got heat shrink, but I've got short lengths of heat shrink. We buy some long lengths. It seems a bit extreme, but we could wrap it all up in tape, which looks a bit naff. I don't know. I shall have to take some advice on that, but I'm well chuffed with that. I am very well chuffed with that. Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, complete success. And all the handlebar switches seem to work as well, which is an added bonus. Or I don't know if I'll keep those, or if I get some aftermarket, newy, flashy looking ones. I don't know yet, but there we go. Indicators in, headlights in. Fantastic. End to a good day. I'm off to go and see some friends over the weekend, so I probably won't get any more done on this, possibly now till Monday. But hopefully we'll see what it goes like. So ride safe, take care, and I'll see you on the next episode of Who in the Shed.